What is up, heroes? This is Midnight Zero, and welcome to another Pokemon Showdown battle. This time I've got a new team. Apparently you guys liked the last battle, so we're going to get going with another one. And getting into the new Mega Evolutions, Mega Sableye is one that really stuck out to me. I loved Sableye before. I know it's kind of a trolly Pokemon, but it's one of my favorites, and I was really excited to use the Mega, so I want to make a team around him. And here was actually my very first game using Mega Sableye. So I sent out Mega Sableye, and as many of you know, his ability when he Mega Evolves is Magic Bounce, and now I'm running a physically defensive set, getting Calm Mind. He tries for the taunt, he's got a suicide lead, so this thing then has to struggle against my Sableye because it only has non-damaging moves like Stealth Rock and such, so then he immediately forfeits, and I just wanted to show you guys that because, lol, my very first match with Mega Sableye ends on turn 3 because I force him to struggle and he just gives up. So that was pretty funny. Now to an actual match. Here we go. I'm on the other side now, and I'll give a quick rundown of the team. Mega Sableye is physically defensive with Calm Mind, can sweep a lot of times in my win condition. Clefable is, I believe, unaware, and actually has Stealth Rocks and can pack a punch, but it's a huge tank. It's so bulky. Gliscor is actually especially defensive, Gliscor, which can actually take so many hits. You'd be surprised. Slowbro, physically defensive, and it has Regenerators, its ability. So it can heal HP pretty well. Heatran, specially defensive, can also fire off some good damage. And Tyranitar's mixed bulk and can tank hits from either side. And this is generally a stallier team, so we'll see how it works. Tyranitar can get up Sandstorm to whittle away at foes while I have Recovery. So we'll see how this goes. Looking at his team, I'm thinking he might lead off with Ferrothorn to get up rocks or some sort of hazards. Maybe Gyarados to get off the Intimidate. He doesn't really have an answer to Mega Sableye, so that's going to be my main goal for this matchup. So he sends out his Latios, and I send out my Mega Sableye, and I'm like, perfect! My Sableye can destroy anything Psychic pretty much, so I'm going to be able to set up a Calm Mind for free or get a Will-O-Wisp. I do get the Calm Mind up, and because I have Magic Bounce, he can't set up any hazards, he can't get a Leech Seed on me, anything like that. So he goes for Gyro Ball, but that's going to do no damage, especially because he's burnt. So now he's taking residual damage. He doesn't have leftovers, which is interesting. So we switch him Bisharp. I get another Calm Mind up. I know I can probably take one more hit, or take one hit from him. Iron Head does 40%, and he's Life Orbed, which is good to know. So I get the Will-O-Wisp off. It hits. That means he's only going to be doing 20% damage to me each time. I can recover, and even if I flinch, I've still got some leeway. He would need to get at least 2 flinches in a row for me to get KO'd after being less than 60% or so. So I can definitely outstall this thing, and I can set up some Calm Minds, get even more powerful for whatever decides to come in eventually, as he's just going to be whittling away from Life Orb damage and burn damage. That's why this Pokemon, when it can set up, is so incredibly powerful, because it's really bulky. It has really low base HP, and that's kind of its main Achilles heel. So you do have to play carefully with it to make sure not to lose too much HP, because it can't have leftovers, so it can't have passive recovery, and if you want to recover, you have to have wish support or use recover. So now he's going to send out his Gyarados, which is Waterfall. 32% is pretty remarkable. Important flinch there though, so now I'm going to be forced to have to recover this turn so that I can have some leeway to be able to take a Waterfall and then fire off a Shadow Ball, and then still be able to take a hit from the incoming Pokemon and recover. So I do get the Will-O-Wisp off. That's going to be really important because that's going to have his attack. So now, even though he's Dragon Danced, he's at +1, he's technically at like 0.75, his maximum attack power. So I can fire off a Shadow Ball pretty safely here, assuming I don't flinch, and burn damage is actually going to take him out from here. You can also see that Gemini Man, his special attack, even at ×3, is not going to be able to do a considerable amount to Gyarados, which is surprisingly especially bulky. It could have also been just an Assault Vest, and so you'll see that he forfeits there too, because once this thing sets up, it can be so powerful, because it can just cripple any opponent, especially because he only had special attackers from there on out, so there was just no chance. So I'll move to another battle with Mega Sableye, except this is going to introduce a new team. I've got my Mega Sableye, except it's a different one. It's a specially defensive Mega Sableye that doesn't set up, so it's a totally different set. And we've got Excadrill, which is specially defensive, is really there to deal with fairies, which give Sableye a hard time. Manaphy, also generally, this is a stallier team as well. It sets up Scalds, Rain, and can use Rest to heal because of its hydration ability once the Rain is up. Gliscor, physically defensive now. Talonflame, able to get burns off. It's a bulkier set. Gets some good damage in there too. And then Unaware Clefable to prevent setup sweepers. So, let's get going to this battle. Looking at his team, I'm not really sure what to expect. Maybe Hitmontop. He sends out Arcanine, but I can safely lead in with Sableye because there isn't really much he has to deal with it. Other than Aegislash. And so he's going to go with Flamethrower, but my Gliscor can take that like a champ. I get a Toxic Orb, Poison going, so I'm going to be able to heal. I set up Stealth Rocks, which are actually going to be really helpful because I don't want that Lando to come in just safe. He's going to keep going with Flamethrowers. Manaphy is so bulky. Like, it's incredible how bulky this Manaphy is. Look at that. That Arcanine did 10%, and I get Leftovers HP back, so I'm free to fire off whatever I want. So I'm just going to go for a Scald. That's going to do a decent amount of damage. No burn. That's okay. I can just keep firing off these Scalds. I might even set up a Rain Dance because it doesn't look like he's switching out. Maybe it's somewhat of a Suicide Lead, just get some damage off. I don't think it's Morning Sun Arcanine, and if it is, I can just set up a Rain Dance so that it can't recover as much HP. So he sends in Dragalge. I mean, my Scald doesn't really do much. I'm just hoping for the burn at this case. I don't know what he has to offer. I mean, I think I can switch in my Excadrill if he's going to go for a Poison type move. Oh, and he ends up going for a T-Bolt. I guess I should have seen that coming because he sent it in against the Manaphy, and that's obviously the only thing that's going to be super effective against it. Now, I'm not sure if I outspeed this Arcanine, but I did predict the switch, and so I went for Toxic, and that probably would have KO'd the Arcanine. I'm not sure if it's Leftovers that goes first or Toxic that goes first, but regardless, Manaphy can sponge any status and set up a Rain Dance to get rid of it because of the hydration ability, and can take any attack this Arcanine has to offer. So Manaphy is just going to wall this thing. Like I said earlier, he's going to go for Morning Sun, but only heals 25% because the rain is up. That is a weather-dependent recovery move. So now I can just fire off the Scald, get some damage on whatever decides to come in, and hopefully get a burn. But that rain-boosted Scald is actually going to do well over 50%, not well over 50%, but about 50%, and it's going to be a 2-hit KO on this Doublade, which is not as specially defensive as I expected. I expected the thing to live a little bit longer. So now he's going to send an Alakazam, and this thing is a major threat. I think I can take a hit from Mega Alakazam and fire off something. U-Turn is going to do quite a bit of damage. Now I just need something that can outspeed this Mega Alakazam. So now I have Priority Brave Bird, which is going to be able to KO Alakazam. I'm just going to go for it because once I lose Talonflame, I don't know if I can beat that Mega Alakazam because Manaphy is on low HP and such. So he sends in his Arcanine. It's not going to be able to take the Brave Bird, but he wants to save his Alakazam no matter what and find some way to get rid of this. He's got the Thunderbolt, which seems fairly obvious. He goes for Hydro Pump, but look at this. Excadrill, specially defensive Excadrill is a tank. It can take a Hydro Pump and hit back hard with an Earthquake. It still outspeeds Dragalge and do some solid damage. It's also Mold Breaker Excadrill, which caught a lot of people off guard with Levitate and such. So now he's got Hitmontop. I'm thinking he might go for the Rapid Spin, so I send in Sableye, which is Ghost type, but he ends up going for the Mach Punch anyways, trying to get some damage off on Excadrill. Sableye was the perfect switch in no matter what. Sableye is specially defensive. I'm pretty sure he can take one hit from Alakazam. I go for the Will-O-Wisp because now that he's Mega Alakazam, he doesn't have Magic Guard, so he will take damage, and that's going to for sure put a timer on this Alakazam. Dazzling Gleam only does a little over 50%, which makes me wonder the EV investment or nature and such of this Mega Alakazam, or it could just be the ridiculous bulk of Sableye. So I'm able to recover stall this Alakazam, and with the fall of Alakazam, I know that I can pretty much take out the rest of his team. Manaphy can take out Lando T, or not Lando T, just Landorus for sure. Take off his Life Orb, which means he's definitely the specially offensive Life Orb set, which is probably by far the most common now. So I'm just going to switch into Gliscor, predicting the Earth Power, get a little bit of Poison Heal damage off. He's probably going to go for HP Ice, and so I can pivot into my Clefable. He ends up going for Psychic, but I'm okay with that because without that Life Orb, he's not doing enough damage. I have Moonlight to heal off a lot of the damage. Sludge Wave is going to do well over 50% though, so I'm not going to be able to stall out this Sludge Wave. So when he goes for a Sludge Wave, I'm probably going to switch into Excadrill, which will not be affected by it. And at this point, I'm just trying to find some good pivot to get into an attack that I can hit him hard with and actually KO him. However, with each of these attacks that I'm immune to, and I get the solid switch, I'm healing a little bit each turn. So I am gaining back HP by predicting these moves and switching, though it is a little risky. So now I predict that he's going to try and predict my switch and go for the... so he goes for the Earth Power again, so I'm able to get a U-turn off, and I get a little bit of switch advantage. I get a free switch into Clefable, who can definitely take any hit at this point and deal back some damage. So I go for the Moonblast. That's going to bring it down to 2%. 2%. And so now I know that my Talonflame can actually take everything on the rest of his team down. It's a relatively bulky Talonflame, so he's going to take the Psychic like a champ, go for Brave Bird. That's going to do like nothing to my Talonflame, especially when I have leftovers HP to recover off the recoil. And now he's going to send him on top, which is fighting type. I've got priority Brave Bird. After Stealth Rock damage, it'll probably KO. So I'm just going to go for that, and that will take down him on top and lead to a solid 6-0. I actually really enjoy this team. It's not perfect. I'm still working on it, but it is a good team. So let me know what you guys think of Mega Sableye. If you want to see more Mega Sableye, or if there's any particular Pokemon you want to see me use on a team, let me know and I'll try and build something around it. But until the next battle, this has been Midnight Zero, and this mission is complete.